Because let me tell you, every argument is an opportunity to either connect or build more distance. Ever feel like you're in a constant competition between your career and your husband's patience? Your kids think you work too hard, but hey, you're doing it all for them, right? The struggle is real, and I've been there too. Moments of feeling like a crappy mom and wife because once again, your kids had breakfast on their way to school, and you've got more important things on your plate than cooking and cleaning. Hey there, working moms who are juggling a million things and still wondering if you're doing it right. I'm Veronica Cisneros, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3, and married for 24 years. Welcome to the Empowered and Unapologetic podcast, where we dive deep into the messy, chaotic, and sometimes hilarious world of mastering motherhood, marriage, and business. I get it. Balancing it all was never the goal, but here we are trying anyway. I'm here to share my journey and guide you through yours. No more apologies for being driven, and definitely no compromises on your dreams. Together, we'll navigate the challenges of being a powerhouse in both business and family life. Join me as we tackle the uncomfortable conversations from being the breadwinner to changing the rules of what a marriage looks like. Let's figure out how to parent in a working parent household without the constant arguments or guilt. I'm Veronica Cisneros, and this is Empowered and Unapologetic, where we embrace the chaos, challenge the norms, and strive to live life on our own terms. Get ready for some real talk, actionable tips, and a few laughs along the way. You didn't expect this to be your life. Yeah, I'm totally calling you out. You're crushing it at work, managing a household, raising kids, and somehow still finding time to keep the wheels turning. But your marriage, it feels like it's barely holding on. And here's the kicker. You don't even know if you care anymore. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, do I even want to go home tonight? You're not alone. These conversations aren't easy and they're necessary. I've spoken to women who feel like single parents in their own marriages, women who are tired of their partners constantly complaining and lacking motivation, constantly venting, women who dread the perpetual arguments about household chores or unmotivated teens. And here's the hardest part. They feel guilty for not wanting to fix it anymore. Here's the truth that no one is saying out loud. You're successful, you're capable, you're doing it all, and yet you're miserable. You're tired of the same arguments, you're tired of carrying all the weight, and you're tired of wondering if this is just how it's supposed to be. Is it? I've sat with women like you, women who are running companies, managing teams, raising kids, and still feeling like they're failing at home. One woman told me, I feel like a single parent. Everything I do is by myself. Another said, I dread going home because all I hear is my husband dumping on me about how tired he is or how much he hates his job. Meanwhile, I'm holding everything together. If this resonates with you, stay with me because we're going to unpack all of it. By the end of this episode, we're going to talk about why this is happening, what's really at the root of your struggles, and how you can start changing it. Yes, change can actually happen, and it's going to start today. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. If you know me, I'm going to give it to you real raw. And you're probably not going to love me at the end of this episode. However, you're going to definitely thank me. I'm here to challenge you to see things differently and step into the life and relationship you deserve. So Let's start with something you're probably not even naming out loud. You're exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. And it's because you're carrying the invisible load. The invisible load is everything you're holding in your mind and heart that no one else sees. It's the doctor appointments, the meal plans, the endless to do lists, and the emotional labor of worrying about everyone else. One of you shared this with me. I get up at 6 a.m., get the kids ready, go to work, pick them up, cook dinner, and then I'm up until midnight working on my side business. My husband, he just checks out. Does that hit home? Here's the part that's hard to admit. Part of you feels like you're the only one who can do it. That's why you don't ask for help. Or when you do, you micromanage. And then you resent your partner for not stepping up. But here's the thing. He doesn't step up because you've taught him. Yes, you. I'm pointing at you. You've taught him he doesn't have to. I know that stings, and it's the truth. Let me ask you this. What would happen if you let go of the need to do it all perfectly? What if you asked for help and then actually allowed it to happen without stepping in? What if your partner or kids learned through doing, even if they fail a little bit, a lot, a lot? Because the alternative is you continuing to burn out while everyone else assumes you're okay with carrying the weight. This week, I challenge you to delegate one task completely. No micromanaging, no rescuing. Let them feel the weight of what you've been carrying, even if it's just one piece. I know that might be hard for you. I know you might be cringing. And I also know why you do it. I was recording this podcast episode with a doctor, and he's a relationship coach. And he totally called me out. And I loved it, kind of, sort of, not really. Why don't I allow my husband to ask me how I'm doing? Why do I not carry that conversation? Well, if I'm being honest, because there are times that I don't trust that he's capable of carrying that emotional weight. I don't think he even knows what to do with it. And I'm saying that, and yet I have so much evidence proving something different. We've been married a long time. We've been married for 25 years, and there's a lot of personal work that we have both done. And yet, even as a therapist, even with all of the work that I've done, I hate to say that, but that statement is true. When Willie asks me, "How are you doing?" I it's almost as if I want to end the conversation. Like, okay, I'll entertain it for a bit, but let's go into business. Let's go ahead and talk about things that I can problem solve. I don't even realize that I'm doing it. I didn't realize that until this podcast episode that I recorded. And when Willie has said to me, "Are you okay?" It's automatically met with, "Yes, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah." And then it goes into like blaming, or it goes into a task, or it goes into complete avoidance. When he starts to display love, affection, and validation, I'll take it for maybe a few minutes, but then I'll quickly wrap up to something else. Why? Because again, I don't see, I was about to blame him again, because I don't trust myself. I don't trust that I'm capable of feeling and surviving the pain. Does that resonate with you guys? I don't feel like I'm capable of potentially being met with disappointment. But in that same return, I also don't allow that space to even exist because I'm so quick to change it. And I recognize that a good amount of you are struggling with something similar or even worse. So let's talk about the fights, the ones that seem to happen on repeat, always about the same things and never getting resolved. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt fully in control of your life? Not just surviving chaos, but actually thriving. If you're like so many high achieving women I work with, you're probably doing everything for everyone else. But deep down, you're exhausted. You're managing the kids, the marriage, the career, an endless to-do list. But somewhere along the way, you stopped recognizing the woman in the mirror. This is exactly why I created Empower X. This isn't a motivational pep talk or a surface level course. It's a complete transformation. In Empower X, we don't just talk about balance or boundaries, we build them. We tackle the real issues holding you back: overwhelm, resentment, fear of failing, or even fear of being seen. Together, we'll rewrite the rules you've been living by. You'll learn to set boundaries that actually stick, master your time so it works for you, and reconnect with yourself in a way you didn't think was possible. This isn't just about work or family, it's about you. You deserve to be more than the roles you play. The truth, the life you want isn't out of reach. It's waiting for you to claim it. But here's the catch. No one else is going to do this for you. The question is, are you ready? Spots are limited, and this is your chance to start 2025 differently. Head to www.veronicacisneros.org/EmpowerX. Don't wait for permission, because you already have it. It's time to take back your power. Let's do this together. One of you have told me most of our arguments start with him criticizing me about something. I get defensive, he gets defensive, and then we're both stuck in avoidance. It's exhausting. Another shared, we argue about chores because I want more help. I want to feel like we're in this together, but instead, I end up feeling more alone. I'm tired of having to remember everything. I'm tired of being responsible for everything. And if he does do something, it's only because I told him to do it. And I just wish things would just get done. But they don't. I'm left with all of this constant invisible load. Does this sound familiar? Here's what's really happening. The argument isn't about the dishes or the kids' messy rooms. It's about the deeper, unspoken needs underneath it all. You want to feel supported. You want to feel seen. And he probably wants to feel appreciated, understood, and respected. But he doesn't know how to ask for it without making it worse. Here's where I'm going to call you out. You already know this. And for those of you that are new, welcome. But like I mentioned earlier, we don't do Band-Aids. I'm here to help you step outside your comfort zone and truly find healing. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm going to ask you a question. And I really want you to sit down and think about it for a minute. Don't be quick to respond. Don't be quick to respond. Think about it for one quick second. And if you don't have a pen and paper, grab one. Here's the question. Are you showing up to these fights ready to solve the problem? Or are you showing up with walls already built? I'm going to ask the question again. Are you showing up to these fights ready to solve the problem? Or are you showing up with walls already built? And I'm sure because you're all high achieving women, a good amount of you are going to say, oh yeah, I'm totally in the argument, ready to go ahead and solve the problem. Okay. Well, if that's true, are you in control of your emotions? Wait a minute, Veronica. Sure, sometimes. No. Are you willing to go ahead and sit in those uncomfortable emotions while your partner shares his point of view, his perspective, without you trying to change it, without you trying to fix the problem? Are you willing to sit there in silence and really, truly gain a deeper understanding as to what his truth is? Because if you're not, then you're not ready to problem solve. And you're back with walls completely built, rock solid. Are you reacting to his tone or his words instead of listening to the need, the reasonable request underneath it all? Because let me tell you, every argument is an opportunity to either connect or build more distance. Let me go ahead and repeat that one more time for the women in the cheap seats. Every argument, write this down, is an opportunity to either connect or build more distance. Which one do you want? Which are you choosing and why? The next time an argument starts, pause and ask yourself, what's the real need here? For example, if you're arguing about chores, it might be about feeling like an equal partner. Name the need, not the complaint. And then say it out loud. I need to feel like we're in this together. Watch how the dynamics shift. Another thing you can say is, this is important to me. And it's important because fill in the blank. Another thing you can say is, I'm afraid. And I know, ladies, a good amount of you struggle with opening up about your fears. You need to say that, not for him, for you. I'm afraid. My biggest fear is that that this is going to be my life and I'm going to resent you. My resentment for you is going to continue to grow. And I'm going to start to disconnect more and more because I find myself in this shift now. Ladies, the dynamics will shift. It requires you to be honest with yourself. Let's talk about something no one wants to admit: the walls you've built in your marriage. Because yes, you've built walls too. One of you have said to me, I tend to walk away when these issues come up because I worry I'll make things worse. Another shared, I want him to step the fuck up and be more motivated. I'm tired of asking. I just want him to do it. I hear you. I hear you. But here's the thing: walking away or expecting him to read your mind isn't helping. It's reinforcing the very cycle you're trying to break. This is why women over 40 are just like, fuck it. I don't want to do it anymore. But one thing they're missing is their own personal self-reflection, really looking at how they're a part of this issue. Don't get me wrong, he's a part of it too. But women have gotten to the point where they're just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. And I hear you. However, what if things could be different? I get it, you're tired. You're tired of explaining, of asking, of being disappointed. But what if the walls you've built to protect yourself are the very walls keeping you disconnected? What if the walls you've built to protect yourself are the very, very same walls keeping you disconnected? What if lowering those walls just a little could change everything? This week, pick one wall to lower. Maybe it's sharing how overwhelmed you're feeling instead of shutting down. Maybe it's listening to his perspective without reacting. Whatever it is, take one step towards openness. You're not alone in this. I'm going to be here with you. Let's try this. Here's the thing: you don't have to do this alone. Change is hard. You're speaking to the choir here. Change 1,000% is hard, especially when you're carrying so much. And that right there is why I created Empower X. Empower X, I guess you could call us like a girl gang, a secret girl gang. It is a space for women like you. It's where you can unpack these struggles, learn tools to set boundaries, and communicate effectively and connect with other women who get it. It's not a venting, bitching session, ladies. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your marriage so you no longer feel like a shitty mother on your terms. One woman came to EmpowerX saying, I feel like a single parent. I'm doing it all. Through the program, she learned to delegate, set boundaries, and communicate in a way that worked. Now, she's not just surviving. She's thriving. And her marriage, it's finally starting to feel like a partnership. And that mom guilt has subsided. She's able to connect and develop an understanding as to why it was so draining and why she carried it every single day. If this resonates with you, don't wait. Join us in Empower X and start creating the life and marriage you deserve. Show up as the mom that you were meant to be. The life you want, the marriage you want, isn't out of reach, but it requires you to show up differently. It requires you to take a hard look at your patterns, your walls, and your boundaries. This week, I challenge you to ask yourself, what's one thing I can change today to break the cycle? Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it's speaking up and connecting with some of that fear. Whatever it is, take that first step. You've got this. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's start a movement of empowered, unapologetic women who refuse to settle for anything less than what they deserve. Ladies, it's time. You know it. Let's do it together. Raise your hand if you are ready to level up your marriage for 2023. Do you find that you're spending your time together with your husband checked out and in front of the TV? I know you're ready for tangible strategies that actually get you results. Reignite the spark in your marriage, have fun, and grow together. Well, I hope you have your hand raised at this minute because I have something special for you. I'm introducing my brand new 6-question marriage predictor quiz that's gonna give you personalized results to catapult you into the next stage of your marriage journey. That means you'll receive the results to where your marriage can get the best help. If you've got just 1 minute, head to veronicacisneros.org/quiz. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz. And you could take my brand new quiz, Marriage Predictor. Get your results delivered right to your email address. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, veronicacisneros.org/quiz. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.